What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, shout out to the brother Jeremy Tyler for the $10 donation via the PayPal. And he had a question. He said, salute Too Raw. Do you think that Shannon Sharpe will ever return to ESPN or Fox Sports, or has he burned those bridges? Well, of course, we all know that Shannon Sharpe has found himself over the past couple of years in a lot of personal scandals, put like that. A lot of personal scandals. The first one, of course, was last fall when audio leaked on social media of him apparently having sex with a woman whose name appeared to be Michelle, right? Now, he claimed it was an accident. He got away with that one, all right? Now, mind you, ESPN is owned by Disney, which, despite the hypocrisies involving Disney, Disney is still Disney, okay? It's still supposedly Disney has an image, okay? Disney is supposed to be more kid-friendly. It's not late at night sex talk, okay, So he got away with that one. But then, when it came to this latest situation with the OnlyFans model, even though I do get irked and rankled at the fact that people put a lot of bad, titles or want to call Shannon Sharpe different terms that don't fit what actually occurred, still the fact remains it was another black eye. And when it comes to ESPN, that ship has sailed. Absolutely. He's not going to, especially with the current ownership, the current hierarchy, and Stephen A. Smith there. Because you can make an argument that Stephen A. Smith brought him over there anyway on a part-time basis to neutralize Shannon Sharpe as opposition anyway. And when you look at the fact that when Shannon Sharpe was going through his, the peak of his issues in this latest scandal, Stephen A. Smith was less than the biggest defender of Shannon Sharpe. And we all know when you look at Michael Irvin, who has been completely exonerated, but still lost his job. And there's still this stench over Michael Irvin as if he did something wrong. And if we don't know in that situation, Stephen A. Smith did very little to try to, lend his support, calling it a PR manner. But we all know that when it came to Dana White, who slapped his wife twice on video, Stephen A. Smith and Marlon Karen came out and went out their way to defend him. So, you know how that is, okay? But no, with Disney, that's done, in my opinion. Fox Sports, about a year ago, a lot of us was making the argument that, if anything at that time, Fox Sports felt like they probably made a mistake, a serious blunder, letting Shannon Sharpe walk. Now, right now, I would say that Shannon Sharpe is too hot with scandals. He's too toxic right now for Fox Sports to be interested in, right? But let's be honest, despite the fact that there were probably some internal things going on that never got out with his tenure with Fox Sports, he was a ratings boon for the network. Although Undisputed never seriously approached Undisputed in the ratings, he at least kept Undisputed along with, really him. He at least kept Undisputed respectable. Once Shannon Sharpe departed Undisputed, Undisputed, their ratings I mean, it just was an embarrassment at that point. They had to totally restructure the show to try to keep it afloat. They tried to make it almost like a panel show, and it still didn't work. So I'll put it like this: with Fox Sports, I think there's a FS1, I should say. There's a slightly better chance of him returning down the line. But I would guess with Shannon Sharpe having uh, so many different hats, I guess I should say, it would be, if anything, more of a contributing thing. If he's on FS1, maybe a couple years down the stretch, I could see him being on that network on a weekly basis. A weekly basis, maybe talking football. By that point in time, LeBron will be out of the NBA, so the whole LeBron Mike thing will be done pretty much. I could kind of see him coming back and maybe doing that. But you got to look at something else here, too. You got to look at the fact that network television is dying. Everything is transferring to podcasts and online anyway. So as the years go on, I think the importance of being on network television, as far as being a journalist, analyst, are becoming less important anyway. So that's how I look at it. I think with ESPN, that's done. He's never going to come back on that network. Fox Sports 1 or FS1, there's a somewhat better chance of that, but I think maybe a couple years down the stretch. And if anything, I think that in the grand scheme of things, network television ratings are deteriorating anyway. And even with all of that, a guy like Stephen A. Smith is overrated anyway. The guy goes on there and talks about how he's had the number one show for all these years, right? And then we just saw, what's his name? Former Sports Center anchor come back after 20-something years. And his first show does numbers that we haven't seen since Shannon Sharpe came back to ESPN. Debuted on ESPN First Take. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, that's how I look at it. Tell me what you guys think.